So fortunate, as referenced at the start of the call, to have Sumaiya Essop from the ICL Graduate Business School to join. Sumaiya, I might get you to introduce yourself momentarily, but Sumaiya has been involved heavily with the eQuals project, and ICL have recently gone live on the platform and are starting to issue documents through eQuals. And so, yeah, really fortunate to have Sumaiya give up her time today to talk a bit about their experience. So Sumaiya, I might hand it to you quickly just to introduce yourself and your role within ICL Graduate Business School.
Oh, thanks, Jeremiah. So I am the administration manager, and you would have guessed already, I take care of processes from the enrollment of the student through to the graduation of that particular student. And we've just been, I joined ICL Graduate Business School a little bit after Ewan had already initiated discussions with eQuals, and we just kind of picked up the project to run with it and get it off the ground.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sumaiya. So I know that Ewan initially had conversations with Ewan about ICL joining eQuals.
Yeah.
Do you have any context as to, I guess, what the rationale was behind ICL joining to issue documents through the platform? What were some of the key drivers there?
Absolutely. One key factor was that ICL Graduate Business School has for quite some time now sat in the space of postgraduate studies. And of course, the external verification or validation of qualifications becomes relevant to external stakeholders. That and the fact that as we stay or sit in the private sector, we still battle for that recognition that state sector does. And we felt that eQuals offers or renders significant authenticity to the qualifications. That was a big driver for us. And of course, the fact that electronic validation of qualifications is fast becoming the norm.
Outstanding. Thank you for that. So can you tell me a bit more about what particular documents you decided to issue through the platform? And are these all of your official academic documents?
Yeah. So we offer the graduation certificate, the transcript, and the attendance letter. We also offer a graduate diploma in early childhood education. And for these students, there is a practicum letter, which confirms the number of hours of practicum that the student has completed, as well as the centers at which they've been completed. So we include that as well.
Right. And previously you were printing and providing
manually.
Yeah, manually? Okay.
Yeah, it was all manual. The transcripts, the letters, as well as the certification, and students would have to come in to campus to collect this because of the fact that these are international students, and we've got varying cohorts, a number of different cohorts throughout the year. They wouldn't wait until the graduation ceremony to collect their documents. So they would do that, and the graduation would be retrospective.
Great. My next question is around timelines and your onboarding experience. So can you provide a bit of an overview as to what the experience was like through the onboarding phase from not being on eQuals to being eQuals, and yeah, I guess a broad summation of your experience through that process?
Sure. We started working with Mike, who took us through the initial phases of just putting together what it is that we wanted the system to do for us and what types of documents that we wanted to issue on the platform. And we went through creating a test environment. And I've got to say that Mike was really diligent in keeping us on our toes and making sure that we stayed within the timeframes that we had set for ourselves. And he communicated quite clearly in terms of what the development team would need in terms of lead time to when they can deliver to us. We went through that process of setting up a test environment, which I found extremely useful because we could play around in that environment and make the mistakes that we needed to make in that space without it being a live environment that would affect students and their experience. We went through that process. It was quite extensive. We asked any number of questions. Sometimes the questions would seem quite silly, but Mike was ever so patient with us and always answered. We worked to schedule, and when we got to a point, there was a point in our project where just before implementation or before us going live, we had done the handover, and there was just a little point at which we wanted to make one more last minute change, and we had already passed the development phase of our project, but we wanted to make one last adjustment. And the team at eQuals literally bent over backwards to make the change for us in time for us to still meet the deadline of when we wanted to go live. So overall, we've had a good experience. We stayed within the timeframes that we had created for ourselves. We had weekly touch points with Mike and the team. And when he handed us over to Mariska, who's now just taking us, any kind of maintenance issues and other stuff that we kind of need, it was all very smooth and well managed.
Outstanding. Really glad to hear you've had a good experience. I understand recently that ICL Graduate Business School has issued your first round of documents to learners through the platform. So interested to hear about how that all went for your first time.
Yeah, what we found really very exciting for us is that we issued it, and within, I would say, the first 20 to 30 minutes of us issuing it, we were watching the reporting side of it, and within the first 20 to 30 minutes, we had 80% of our students access their documents, and that was fantastic because it was just so good to see that, we would normally have students queuing outside at the reception desk waiting to collect the document physically, and this was just literally at the click of a button. It was done. So we did go live. We had good response from our students. We haven't had any comebacks so far. We've just had one run of certification, but we haven't had any issues or comebacks with anything.
Outstanding. Thanks for that. And yeah, great to hear it's all going so well and you've had such a high pickup rate for your first time as well. So I guess as a parting statement, Sumaiya, is there anything that you'd like to share with the group here today in terms of considerations or insights for those who might be interested in joining my eQuals?
I suppose the only thing is that from my own perspective as an administration manager and with a background in the operations behind the certification process, I was particularly concerned with the quality assurance point of it, because with the physical printing of documentation, there are checks and balances that, there are various checkpoints that a certificate goes through before it reaches the student. And I was very happy to see that the same kind of checkpoints can be created online on the portal as well, so that you could upload, you could have someone else check it, and you could have that person sign it off before it's actually released to the student. So that was a good point for me. And also the fact that the test portal served us really well, because we could play around with this and look at the different overlays and what worked and what didn't work, and what we needed to change in the format of how the certificate actually presented at the end to the student. All of which, in my opinion, was very well supported by the team at my eQuals.
Outstanding, Sumaiya. Thank you for your time. If there are any questions for Sumaiya about their experience, we will leave some time towards the end for those. But Sumaiya, thank you again for providing your time today and for talking to your experience.
Sure.